Welcome to today's episode, where we'll talk about how to improve fluency in English by learning to think in English. Many learners find themselves constantly translating from their native language to English, which can slow them down. Let's change that today.
Exactly. If you want to speak more fluently, you need to start thinking in English. It might sound challenging at first, but it's definitely possible. We'll share some useful tips on how to make that transition and make your learning process much smoother.
Thinking in English helps you speak faster and more naturally. So, we'll discuss how to stop translating and how to incorporate this habit into your daily life. It's all about practice, but with the right approach, you'll get better at it every day.
The first step is understanding that your brain is powerful. Once you train yourself to think in English, you'll feel more confident while speaking and the words will flow more easily. Now, let's dive into some practical steps you can take to make this happen.
To begin thinking in English, start with basic words and phrases. When you're at home or out and about, try labeling things around you in English. For example, you could think this is a table or I'm holding a pen in English. It's a great way to start.
Yes, and try to use English in everyday situations, even if you're speaking to yourself. You don't need anyone else around. Just talk to yourself in English as you do your daily tasks. It helps your brain get used to forming sentences in English without translating first.
A great idea is to create a mini dictionary of English words for your surroundings. Start small and gradually add more complex words. This allows your brain to build English vocabulary that you'll use in your thoughts, making the transition easier.
Absolutely, and don't worry if it feels awkward at first. It's normal to struggle in the beginning, but as you repeat this process over time, you'll find it easier to think directly in English without reaching for your native language.
The second step is inner dialogue. Think about what you're doing, feeling, or planning in English. For instance, when you're thinking about your day, try to think in English instead of your native language. This helps develop a more natural flow of thoughts in English.
Exactly, Jennifer. Inner dialogue is such an effective tool. Imagine you're walking to a store and instead of thinking I need to buy some bread, you think I need to buy some bread today. This simple habit can help your brain become accustomed to thinking in English.
Another great tip is to challenge yourself by thinking about more complex ideas in English. If you're discussing a future plan or reflecting on something that happened, do it in English. It strengthens your ability to process thoughts in English, which is crucial for fluency.
And remember, this inner dialogue doesn't have to be perfect. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The key is to keep practicing and building those English thought patterns. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel to think and speak in English.
Step 3 is immersion. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. This could mean listening to English podcasts, watching shows or movies in English, or reading books and articles. The more you immerse yourself in the language, the faster you'll start thinking in English.
Definitely, Jennifer. Immersion helps your brain become familiar with English sentence structures, vocabulary, and accents. It's like being surrounded by English all the time, so you'll start thinking in English without even realizing it.
Try to focus on content that interests you. If you enjoy the material you're engaging with, it's easier to retain what you learn. Whether it's a show, a podcast, or a conversation, the exposure to natural, real-life English will boost your fluency.
Also, when you're watching something, try to repeat what the characters are saying. This is a great exercise in thinking in English as it forces you to respond quickly and accurately in the language. It's both fun and effective for improving fluency.
Step 4 is to practice speaking English as often as possible, especially with others. Find a language exchange partner, attend conversation classes, or practice with friends. Speaking to others in English helps your brain switch from passive learning to active communication.
The key is to start speaking even if you make mistakes. It's through speaking that you'll build confidence and fluency. Start with simple conversations and gradually challenge yourself with more complex topics. Don't wait for perfection, just start speaking.
It's important to be consistent with your practice. Speaking regularly helps reinforce the thought process in English, making it more natural over time. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll feel, and your fluency will improve significantly.
And one more thing, be patient with yourself. Fluency takes time, and it's normal to feel a bit uncomfortable in the beginning. With consistent practice, your confidence will grow, and thinking in English will become a natural part of your everyday life.
Let's talk about creating an English environment at home. Label items in English: your fridge, your desk, your mirror. Seeing these words regularly helps train your mind to associate objects with their English terms, making thinking in English more natural.
Great point, Jennifer. You can also set your phone, computer, or apps to English. This forces you to navigate your daily tasks in English. It's a subtle yet powerful way to immerse yourself in the language, even in small moments like sending a text or setting an alarm.
Yes, and take it further by listening to English music while cooking or doing chores. Try singing along. It's a fun way to practice pronunciation and think in English. Don't worry if you mess up. It's all part of the process of building fluency.
I love that idea, and why not keep a journal in English? Write about your day or your thoughts. This helps you practice forming sentences and trains your brain to organize ideas in English. Even short entries can make a big difference over time.
Another tip: try talking to yourself out loud in English while at home. Narrate what you're doing, like I'm making coffee or I'm cleaning the table. It may feel awkward initially, but it's an excellent way to reinforce thinking in English.
Exactly. You're creating an immersive experience without even leaving your house. Combine this with other activities like reading English recipe books or watching tutorials on YouTube. These small habits add up, and soon you'll notice a shift in how you think.
The key is consistency. Even 10 minutes of practicing these habits daily can create noticeable improvements. Once your brain gets used to an English environment, it will naturally switch to thinking in English more often.
And remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's about progress. Celebrate small wins, like remembering an English word without translating. These moments show that your brain is adapting. Keep at it, and thinking in English will become second nature.
Now, let's address mental blocks. Sometimes you might feel stuck when trying to think in English. One solution is to pause and focus on simple words or phrases you know. Start small and let your confidence build as you regain momentum.
That's a great approach. Another tip is to describe the situation in your own words. For example, if you can't think of car, say a thing I drive. It's okay to simplify. This keeps your thoughts in English without reverting to your native language.
Absolutely, Thomas. And don't stress about making mistakes. Fluency grows from practice, not perfection. If you catch yourself thinking in your native language, gently shift back to English. It's all about building a habit, not being perfect right away.
Right. Jennifer, you can also use visual aids like flashcards or apps to overcome mental blocks. They provide quick reminders and help you recall words faster. Over time, this practice makes your brain more efficient at thinking in English.
Another helpful tip is mindfulness. When you feel stuck, take a deep breath and give yourself permission to slow down. Anxiety can make it harder to think clearly. Staying calm helps your mind focus and improves your ability to think in English.
Great advice, and speaking of focus, practice small conversations in your head before speaking. For instance, if you're planning to order food, rehearse the dialogue mentally in English. This reduces stress and prepares your mind for real-life situations.
Remember, overcoming mental blocks is part of the journey. Celebrate every small victory. Even if you only think in English for a few minutes a day, you're building a stronger foundation for fluency. Be patient and keep going.
Exactly. It's all about persistence. The more you challenge yourself to think in English, the easier it becomes over time. Keep practicing, and soon those mental blocks will appear less often, leaving more room for fluency and confidence.
Let's talk about multitasking in English. Combine simple tasks with language practice. For example, while cooking, name the ingredients in English. Say, I'm chopping onions or I need salt. This builds fluency in everyday actions without extra effort.
That's brilliant, Jennifer, and you can extend this to exercise. If you're running or walking, describe your surroundings in English. The sky is blue, or I see trees and cars. It's a great way to integrate English into daily routines and stay engaged.
Absolutely. Another idea is to listen to English podcasts or audiobooks while cleaning or commuting. Choose topics you enjoy so it feels less like studying and more like entertainment. It keeps your mind in English mode while you do other things.
I love that, and if you're into music, try learning the lyrics of an English song. Sing along while doing laundry or organizing your space. It's fun, and it helps improve pronunciation and vocabulary without requiring extra time.
Here's another tip. While shopping, think in English about what you need. Instead of saying milk in your native language, mentally list items in English. This not only improves your vocabulary, but also strengthens your ability to think quickly in English.
That's a great exercise. You can also mentally role-play conversations. If you're going to the grocery store, imagine asking for help in English. Where can I find the bread? Visualizing interactions prepares you for real-life situations and builds confidence.
Don't forget technology. Use apps that prompt you to speak or type in English. Whether it's language apps or interactive games, these tools allow you to practice on the go. Multitasking becomes a natural part of your English learning journey.
The key is to stay consistent. Even small, daily habits like these can create noticeable improvements over time. The more you engage with English during routine tasks, the closer you'll get to thinking fluently in the language.
Confidence plays a huge role in fluency. Start by practicing with trusted friends or in front of a mirror. Even small conversations like "How are you?" or "What's the time?" build your confidence and help you feel more comfortable thinking in English.
Good point, and don't hesitate to join online forums or language exchange groups. Practicing with others who are also learning creates a supportive environment. It's okay to make mistakes. They're valuable opportunities for growth and learning.
Definitely. Another strategy is recording yourself speaking. Talk about your day, then listen back. It's a great way to notice areas for improvement, like pronunciation or grammar. Over time, this self-reflection builds both skills and confidence.
Exactly, Jennifer, and if you're nervous about speaking, start with writing. Journaling in English allows you to organize your thoughts without the pressure of immediate responses. Once you're comfortable writing, it becomes easier to speak.
Yes, and try celebrating small wins, like completing a sentence or learning a new phrase. Recognizing progress, no matter how small, boosts your confidence. It reminds you that every effort counts toward fluency.
Absolutely. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your unique journey. Everyone learns at their own pace. By staying positive and consistent, you'll naturally gain the confidence to think and speak in English more fluently.
And remember, confidence isn't about perfection. It's about taking steps, no matter how small, toward improvement. Embrace the process, trust your abilities, and keep practicing. Over time, you'll see remarkable progress in both fluency and self-assurance.
Well said, Jennifer. Keep pushing your boundaries and don't be afraid to try. Every word you speak or think in English is a step closer to fluency. Confidence grows with practice, so keep challenging yourself and enjoy the journey.
One of the easiest ways to think in English is by immersing yourself in media. Watch movies or series without subtitles. Even if you don't catch every word, your brain starts associating sounds with meanings, making thinking in English more natural.
Great advice, and don't limit yourself to just movies. Explore YouTube channels, especially ones for English learners or about topics you love. Hearing natural conversations and explanations helps build context and vocabulary you can apply in daily life.
Podcasts are another fantastic resource. Choose podcasts about hobbies, news, or personal growth in English. Listening daily trains your brain to process the language faster and builds your understanding of sentence structures and idiomatic expressions.
Exactly, and for readers, dive into English books, even simple ones. Start with stories or genres you enjoy. Reading familiar content in English reinforces grammar, teaches new words, and encourages you to think in English while following the plot.
Music is also powerful. Listen to songs and try to understand the lyrics. Sing along to improve pronunciation. It's fun, engaging, and subtly pushes you to think in English while connecting with the rhythm and meaning of the words.
And don't forget social media. Follow English-speaking creators on Instagram or TikTok. Engage with their posts by leaving comments or practicing writing captions in English. Small interactions like these add up to significant progress over time.
Gaming is another immersive method. If you play video games, set the language to English. The dialogues and instructions help you think in English while you're immersed in the storyline or completing missions. It's a fun way to practice without realizing it.
Bringing English into your entertainment makes it part of your life, not just study time. By consuming English media, you expose yourself to real-life usage, slang, and accents, all of which help you think faster and more fluently in the language.
Let's discuss real-life practice. Pretend you're in an English-speaking environment. For example, when at a coffee shop, imagine ordering in English, "Can I have a cappuccino?" This kind of mental rehearsal makes you feel prepared for real interactions.
That's a great tip. Also, practice with people around you. If you have friends or colleagues who speak English, suggest casual conversations. Start with simple topics like "How was your weekend?" It's an easy way to practice without pressure.
Yes, visualization works wonders too. Imagine you're in an English-speaking scenario, like asking for directions. "Excuse me, where's the nearest bus stop?" Picture the response and how you'd reply. This prepares your brain for similar real-life exchanges.
And don't shy away from public speaking opportunities, even in small groups. Practice introducing yourself or sharing a short story in English. The more you step out of your comfort zone, the quicker you'll think and respond in English naturally.
Absolutely, role-playing with a partner is another effective tool. Take turns acting as a customer and a store clerk, or a traveler and a guide. It's practical, fun, and mirrors real-life conversations, helping you think quickly in English.
Engage with English-speaking communities, either online or in person. Join clubs or forums that interest you. Discussing shared hobbies or goals with others in English makes thinking in the language feel purposeful and rewarding.
And remember to set goals. For instance, decide to have one conversation or write one email in English each day. Achieving small targets builds momentum and trains your mind to think more frequently in the language, which strengthens fluency.
The key is consistency. Practicing daily, whether through role plays, visualization, or conversations, rewires your brain to process thoughts in English. Over time, it becomes second nature, and thinking in English feels as natural as your first language.
A common barrier is the fear of making mistakes. But mistakes are part of learning. Think of every error as feedback. Instead of saying, "I'm bad at English," say, "I'm learning English." Positive self-talk builds confidence and encourages practice.
Absolutely. Also, remind yourself that most people appreciate effort over perfection. If someone corrects you, take it as a chance to improve, not a failure. Learning to accept feedback graciously is essential for progress and makes thinking in English easier.
Another trick is to celebrate small wins. Did you hold a short conversation in English today? Great. Acknowledge that progress. Small achievements add up, and recognizing them boosts your motivation and self-belief, making it easier to think in English.
I agree, and don't focus too much on grammar at first. Communication is the goal. If you say, "He go to school" instead of "he goes to school," the message is still clear. Fluency improves with practice, not by aiming for perfection from day one.
Also, remember that everyone starts somewhere. When you learned your first language, you didn't speak perfectly at the beginning. Embrace the learning process and trust that thinking in English will become natural with time and effort. Visualization is a powerful tool. When you wake up, imagine your day in English. Think, "I'll brush my teeth, have breakfast, and go to work." Creating mental images with English descriptions helps shift your internal dialogue to the language naturally.
Yes, you can even narrate your actions. For example, while cooking, say to yourself, "I'm chopping onions now." Next, I'll add spices. This practice aligns your thoughts and actions, making it easier to build fluency without overthinking grammar or translation.
When planning, do it in English. Suppose you're organizing a trip, list the things you'll pack or places to visit in English. These small steps encourage you to structure your thoughts directly in English, enhancing fluency over time.
You can also reflect in English before bed, review your day. Think about what you did, what you liked, and what you'll do tomorrow. This habit not only sharpens your thinking skills, but also strengthens your vocabulary for daily activities.
Another tip, visualize conversations. Imagine meeting someone and introducing yourself. What would you say? How would they respond? Practicing these scenarios in your mind helps you prepare for real-life situations, reducing hesitation.
Absolutely. Visualization combined with self-talk is like rehearsal. If you've mentally practiced asking for directions or ordering food in English, you'll feel more confident when you actually need to do it. It's a safe way to build fluency.
Even hobbies can involve visualization. If you enjoy painting, think about your process in English. I'll start with the background, then add details. Pairing your interests with language practice ensures learning stays enjoyable and relevant.
Visualization isn't just a mental exercise, it's a bridge to fluency. By imagining your daily life and interactions in English, you're training your mind to function in the language, making the transition from thinking to speaking much smoother.
One of the most powerful ways to think in English is through consistent practice. Start small. Make it a daily habit to engage in conversations in English, whether it's ordering food, talking to friends, or speaking to yourself. Confidence comes with repetition.
Exactly, Jennifer. The more you practice, the more natural thinking in English becomes. Don't worry about making mistakes, they're part of the process. Every mistake is a learning opportunity that brings you closer to fluency.
If you're alone, practice by narrating your day. As you go through your routine, whether it's cooking or walking, speak aloud in English. This self-talk helps improve vocabulary and also helps you think on your feet without translation.
Another great practice is to talk with native speakers or join online language exchange platforms. Interacting with others forces you to think in English, and you'll get immediate feedback, which is crucial for improving both confidence and fluency.
Also, don't be afraid to use technology to your advantage. There are language learning apps that let you practice speaking with AI. These are low-pressure situations that allow you to improve your speaking skills, helping you build fluency over time.
And let's not forget the power of reading aloud. Whether you're reading a book or a news article, read it out loud. This trains your brain to process and produce language in real time, improving both fluency and comprehension.
You can also start journaling in English. Write about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences every day. It's a great way to improve fluency because it forces you to use English in a meaningful, personal way.
Yes, journaling helps solidify your thoughts in English. Over time, you'll notice that you start to form thoughts directly in English rather than translating them. It's a great way to track your progress and see how far you've come.
To improve fluency, focus on practical situations. Imagine you're at the airport or in a meeting. How would you express your thoughts in English in those situations? This makes thinking in English more relevant and easier to apply in real life.
I couldn't agree more. Jennifer, practice situational dialogues. For example, how would you ask for directions in English? Or how would you discuss your weekend plans? These small, practical exercises will help your brain think in the language naturally.
If you're planning to travel or study abroad, simulate those scenarios. Speak to yourself as though you're ordering coffee, buying tickets, or making small talk with a stranger. By practicing these real-life situations, you build confidence in thinking in English.
That's a great way to prepare for daily conversations. Start creating scripts for yourself. For example, if you're giving a presentation, imagine what you would say in English. Write down your key points and practice them out loud.
Another idea is to watch videos or movies that focus on real-world scenarios. Pay attention to how people react, what vocabulary they use, and how conversations flow. Then, try to apply the same strategies in your own speaking practice.
Exactly, Jennifer. Watching how native speakers engage in common scenarios and imitating their speech patterns can help you understand cultural nuances while improving fluency. Practice makes it easier to think in the language when you need to.
Real-world practice is the key to fluency. Whether you're ordering food, discussing a project, or just chatting with a friend, immersing yourself in practical language use helps your brain make that shift to thinking in English more smoothly.
So, start with practical situations and try to visualize them in English. The more you expose yourself to these real-life scenarios, the more natural it will feel to think in English. It's all about consistent and focused practice.
When you're learning to think in English, it's essential to embrace mistakes. It's easy to be discouraged, but each mistake is an opportunity to learn. Don't focus on being perfect, focus on being consistent and improving over time.
Absolutely. Mistakes are part of the learning process. When you make a mistake, try to analyze it. What went wrong? What would you say differently next time? This reflection helps you grow faster and reinforces your ability to think in English.
A great tip is to take note of the mistakes you make. Write them down in a notebook and review them later. You'll see recurring patterns, which will allow you to focus on areas that need improvement and avoid making the same mistakes again.
That's a powerful strategy, Jennifer. Also, don't be afraid to use new words or structures you've learned, even if you're unsure. The more you use them, the more comfortable you'll feel, and eventually, they'll become second nature.
Exactly, and remember, every mistake you make is a step closer to fluency. If you're not making mistakes, you're probably not challenging yourself enough. So be bold and experiment with your language skills. It'll pay off.
A key to thinking in English is creating an environment where mistakes aren't feared but embraced. Practice without judgment. It's about progress, not perfection. The more you practice, the quicker you'll improve, even if it's through trial and error.
And don't forget to be kind to yourself. Learning a new language takes time. Give yourself credit for every step you take. Whether it's mastering a difficult phrase or simply improving your confidence, every little win counts.
Absolutely. Focus on your progress, not your setbacks. Thinking in English gets easier over time. Stay patient with yourself and celebrate the small victories along the way. Every improvement helps you become more fluent.
To truly think in English, try to incorporate the language into your daily routine. Label objects around your house with their English names or change your phone's language settings to English. This constant exposure will reinforce your thinking in the language.
That's a brilliant idea. Jennifer, the more you surround yourself with English, the more your brain will start to naturally process it. You can even think about how to describe everyday situations in English. Imagine narrating your day as you go about it.
And speaking of incorporating English, another helpful technique is to switch your entertainment to English. Watch your favorite shows or listen to music in English. It can help your brain start recognizing patterns and expressions in a natural context.
And speaking of incorporating English, another helpful technique is to switch your entertainment to English. Watch your favorite shows or listen to music in English. It can help your brain start recognizing patterns and expressions in a natural context.
In addition to media, you can try journaling in English. Write down your thoughts, emotions, or ideas in English each day. This practice forces you to think in the language and express yourself without relying on translation from your native language.
That's a great way to get your thoughts out in English. You don't have to worry about it being perfect, but you'll find that over time, your thinking in English becomes more natural and fluid. It's all about developing that habit.
You can also practice English in your hobbies. If you love cooking, follow recipes in English. If you like sports, follow the commentary in English. The more you integrate English into your interests, the more you'll strengthen your language skills.
Exactly, using English in contexts that are already familiar and fun makes the learning process enjoyable and much more sustainable. Over time, you'll notice that thinking in English isn't just possible, it'll feel like second nature.
Visualization is a fantastic way to think in English. Picture a scenario, like going to a restaurant. Imagine the menu, the conversation with the waiter, and ordering your meal all in English. This exercise strengthens your ability to process thoughts in English.
Great tip, Jennifer. I'd add imagining real-life interactions like meeting a friend. Visualize how the chat unfolds in English. What questions would you ask? How would you respond? This trains your brain to think in the language naturally.
Exactly. Another method is creating imaginary stories in your head. Pretend you're describing an adventure or narrating a journey. Use as much English vocabulary as possible. This creative thinking makes it fun and helps expand your language skills.
Yes, creativity plays a huge role in language learning. Even describing the room you're in, like the table is brown and the chair is next to it, helps you think directly in English. These small mental exercises build fluency over time.
And don't limit yourself to nouns or simple phrases. Expand to emotions and actions. Think about how you describe your feelings or decisions in English. For example, I'm excited because I finished my project. This helps create deeper connections to the language.
Good point, Jennifer. It's also useful to challenge yourself with what-if scenarios. Imagine you're asking, "What if I forgot my keys?" Then brainstorm a solution in English. These hypotheticals push your thinking into problem-solving territory.
And remember to vary your scenarios. Think about situations at work, home, or traveling. The more diverse your mental practice, the more versatile your English skills will become. It's all about building mental flexibility in the language.
Absolutely. Variety is key. By practicing these visualization techniques regularly, you'll notice your brain starts automatically forming sentences in English without much effort. It's like training a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets.
Context is everything when thinking in English. Picture situations like asking for directions. Imagine, "Excuse me, where's the nearest library?" Then think of possible responses. These practical scenarios make it easier to frame sentences in your head.
I agree. Taking context further, imagine a workplace situation. You might think, "I need to finish this report by 5 p.m. Then extend it. What happens if I don't? Visualizing consequences in English improves both fluency and problem solving.
Confidence is key to improving fluency. Start with simple affirmations like, "I can do this," or "I'm getting better every day." Thinking positively in English reinforces your skills and motivates you to keep practicing.
Exactly, and reward small wins. If you form a correct English sentence in your thoughts, celebrate it. Say, "I just thought in English and it felt natural." Recognizing progress boosts confidence and encourages you to think in English more often.
Also, don't fear mistakes. If you think, "I go to the park," instead of "I went," that's okay. Correct it in your mind and move on. The process of self-correction is a great teacher. Mistakes are stepping stones to improvement.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Another tip is to practice speaking your thoughts aloud. Start with short sentences like "I'm making tea" and gradually expand. Hearing yourself think in English reinforces your mental and verbal fluency.
Yes, and practicing in front of a mirror can help too. Pretend you're in a conversation. Say, "What do you think about this movie?" Then answer yourself in English. It's a fun way to build both confidence and fluency in thinking.
Great idea. You can also set specific goals, like thinking in English for 10 minutes a day. Gradually increase the time. These small, consistent efforts make a big difference over weeks and months, turning English into your default thinking language.
And remember to be patient. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. Celebrate every little improvement and stay consistent. The more you think in English, the easier it becomes. Trust the process, and you'll see results sooner than you expect.
Exactly. The key is persistence and positivity. Thinking in English is like building a habit. It starts small but grows stronger with time. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and enjoy the journey. You're on the right track to achieving fluency.
Visualization is a powerful tool for thinking in English. Picture yourself at a restaurant. Imagine the menu, the waiter asking, "What would you like?" Respond mentally, "I'll have the pasta." It's a great way to mentally rehearse everyday scenarios in English.
Exactly, Jennifer. Take it further. Visualize conversations. Imagine sitting with a friend discussing a movie. Think of their questions like, "What did you think?" And your answers, "I loved it, especially the ending." Visualizing adds depth to your English practice.
I agree. And don't limit yourself to simple interactions. Picture yourself giving a speech. Start with lines like, "Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here." Pretend you're addressing an audience. Visualization helps build confidence in advanced settings.
That's a great idea. You can also use visualization for problem solving. Imagine you're lost and need directions. Think, "Excuse me, can you help me find the park?" Then imagine their reply and how you'd respond. It's practical and prepares you for real-life challenges.
Yes, and you can even visualize future plans. Think, "Next weekend, I'll visit the beach." Then expand it. "I'll swim, relax, and eat seafood." Adding details strengthens your ability to think in English fluently and vividly, making the language feel natural.
Absolutely. Visualization also helps with learning new words. Picture a mountain and think of sentences like, "I climbed a mountain last summer." Associating visuals with vocabulary makes retention easier and thinking in English smoother.
Right, and you can combine visualization with storytelling. Imagine a day at work or school. Narrate it in your head. "I arrived early, finished a project, and had lunch with colleagues." Practicing this daily enhances both fluency and creative thinking in English.
Exactly, Jennifer. To push it further, try imagining entire scenarios like traveling abroad. Picture checking into a hotel. "I have a reservation under Thomas." This kind of detailed visualization bridges the gap between thought and real-world communication.
Another effective way to think in English is journaling. Write about your day, your thoughts, or future plans. For example, today I woke up early, had coffee, and went for a run. This practice helps you form coherent ideas directly in English without translating.
Journaling is excellent. Jennifer, you can also ask yourself questions in English while writing, like, "What was the best part of my day?" Answer: having lunch with friends. It creates a dialogue in your mind, simulating conversations and boosting fluency.
I love that idea. You can even journal about hypothetical situations. Right, if I had $1 million, I'd travel the world. Expand it. I'd visit Japan, see Mount Fuji, and eat sushi. This trains your brain to think creatively in English.
Exactly, and if writing feels too formal, try voice notes. Speak freely about your day, like, I went to the park today. The weather was sunny and I read a great book. Speaking and listening to yourself helps build confidence in real-time English thinking.
That's true. And for a fun twist, describe objects around you. For example, this is my laptop. It's black, lightweight, and has a shiny screen. Simple descriptions train your mind to think quickly in English and use basic vocabulary fluently.
Great point. Pair that with flashcards. Show yourself a picture of a tree and say, this is a tall tree. Its leaves are green and it provides shade. Visual cues combined with English thinking are highly effective for expanding vocabulary and expression.
You can also use journaling or speaking to reflect on challenges. Write, today, I struggled with a project, but I learned something valuable. Expanding on thoughts like this not only boosts language skills, but also deepens your ability to articulate emotions.
Absolutely. You can even turn this into gratitude journaling. Say, I'm grateful for my family, my health, and my opportunities. Expressing gratitude in English strengthens positivity and fluency. It's simple but powerful for developing emotional vocabulary.
Another great way to think in English is through immersion. This means surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. For example, watch movies or shows in English without subtitles. This helps your brain adapt to English patterns without translation.
Yes, and try to listen to podcasts in English while doing everyday tasks. You could listen to a cooking podcast while preparing dinner this way. Yes, and try to listen to podcasts in English while doing everyday tasks. You could listen to a cooking podcast while preparing dinner this way.
That's a great idea, Thomas. And also, you can start following social media accounts in English. Follow news outlets, influencers, or even YouTube channels that interest you. This helps you stay engaged with English content daily, building language awareness.
Exactly. You can also try thinking in English when you're at home. For example, when you go to the store, say to yourself in your head, I need to buy milk, bread, and eggs. By doing this, you will gradually begin to think in English even during mundane tasks.
That's a simple yet effective tip. Another way to immerse yourself is by reading books or articles that interest you. Choose topics you love, such as travel, science, or history. The more you enjoy the material, the more you'll want to continue reading in English.
Exactly, Jennifer. It's all about finding content that excites you. It doesn't have to be difficult. Start with simple books or articles. As you get more comfortable, you can move to more complex material, and soon, thinking in English will become second nature.
I agree. You can also interact with English-speaking communities online. Participate in online discussions, whether on forums or social media. This will expose you to real-life conversations, helping you develop a deeper understanding of natural English expressions.
Yes, and speaking with native speakers or language exchange partners is key. Regularly practicing conversation, even if it's just for a few minutes, helps your brain switch into English faster. You'll notice that your thinking process in English becomes smoother over time.
Mistakes are an important part of the learning process. When you make mistakes in English, don't get discouraged. Instead, see them as opportunities to learn. Embrace those errors and correct them. This helps you grow and become more confident in your speaking skills.
That's so true, Jennifer. Many people fear making mistakes, but the truth is, mistakes are how we learn. Even the most fluent English speakers make errors, but they learn from them. So, when you make mistakes, don't focus on the negative, see it as progress.
Exactly. Another important part of this process is self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Learning a new language is challenging, and it's okay to make errors. Rather than feeling defeated, celebrate the effort you put into learning. Every step counts.
Yes, you should acknowledge your improvements, no matter how small they seem. For example, if you've successfully had a conversation in English, that's a win. Every time you communicate, even if it's just a simple exchange, you're getting better at thinking in English.
That's a great point, Thomas. Also, try not to overthink every single word. Just let your ideas flow in English. You'll become more comfortable and fluent when you focus on the message, not just the vocabulary or grammar.
Absolutely, focus on expressing your thoughts rather than stressing over minor details. Fluency isn't about speaking perfectly. It's about conveying your ideas effectively. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel to speak without constantly translating in your mind.
Right, and it's helpful to set realistic goals. You don't need to be perfect, just progress. Try to set small, achievable targets, like holding a conversation for 5 minutes in English or reading an article without translating every word. Celebrate your success.
Great advice, Jennifer, and don't forget to track your progress. Keep a language journal where you write down new words, expressions, or even mistakes you made. Over time, you'll notice improvement, and that will motivate you to continue your English journey.
One great strategy to improve fluency is breaking down your thoughts. If a complex sentence feels overwhelming, simplify it. For example, instead of saying, "I couldn't attend a meeting because of unforeseen circumstances," say, "I couldn't go because something came up."
That's brilliant. Simplifying doesn't mean losing meaning. It means communicating effectively. If you're unsure of advanced vocabulary, stick to the basics. Over time, as your confidence grows, you can start experimenting with more complex sentences.
Exactly, Thomas. Another tip is to use phrases or templates you've practiced. For instance, if you often need to talk about your hobbies, prepare a standard sentence. "I love reading books, especially novels, because they help me relax." You'll feel more confident using these. Immersion is key. Surround yourself with English whenever possible. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, or even label things at home in English. These small habits create a mental environment where thinking in English becomes natural over time.
True. Jennifer, context matters too. When you associate words with real-life situations, they stick better. For example, while cooking, say the steps aloud in English, "I'm cutting the vegetables," or "I'm adding salt." Such activities blend thinking and speaking seamlessly.
Absolutely, and don't worry about perfection. Focus on the flow. If you pause to find the perfect word, you disrupt your thought process. It's better to say, "I'm putting spices," instead of struggling to recall the word seasoning. Fluency grows with practice.
Great point. Practice is vital. Even if you make mistakes, it's part of the learning process. Talk to yourself in English, describe your surroundings or your day. This habit strengthens your internal dialogue and prepares you for real conversations.
Yes, self-talk is underrated. It's like training your brain to think in English. For example, while walking, think, "The weather is sunny today," or "I need to buy groceries later." These small, consistent practices make a huge difference in fluency.
Another tip is to use English for thinking decisions. If you're choosing between two options, try reasoning in English. For instance, should I wear the blue shirt or the white one? It's a subtle shift, but it rewires your brain to process thoughts in English.
Exactly, and using synonyms can also help. If a word doesn't come to mind, think of similar ones. For instance, if you forget delicious, you can say tasty. This flexibility keeps the conversation flowing and boosts your vocabulary over time. To make thinking in English second nature, integrate it into daily habits. For example, when writing a to-do list, write it in English, clean the room, call a friend, prepare lunch. Over time, your brain starts connecting actions with English words automatically.
Yes, and using English while reading signs, menus, or even packaging helps too. For instance, if you see a cereal box, read and understand the ingredients in English. It's a simple activity but helps you think faster and recognize words in real contexts.
A fun way to practice is imagining conversations. For example, think about how you'd explain your day to someone in English. "I went to the park, saw beautiful flowers, and took photos. These imagined dialogues prepare you for real ones.
And don't forget the power of visualization. Picture a scenario like going to a restaurant and mentally rehearse what you'd say. Can I see the menu? Or I'd like a coffee. This mental simulation strengthens both fluency and confidence.
You can also set language challenges. For example, spend 15 minutes thinking only in English. During that time, narrate your thoughts. I'm folding clothes now, or I'll call my mom soon. These focused bursts accelerate your fluency.
That's great advice, Jennifer. I'd add that repetition helps. If you're unsure how to phrase something, practice saying it in different ways. For example, it's a great day, today is amazing, or I'm having a wonderful day. This builds flexibility.
And don't underestimate listening to music in English. Sing along to lyrics, even if you don't fully understand them at first. Over time, your brain picks up the rhythm of the language, common phrases, and sentence structures without much effort.
Exactly, and for an extra challenge, translate your native thoughts into English in your mind. For instance, if you think I need to cook dinner, immediately switch it to English. These small steps train your brain to process thoughts in your target language.
We hope these tips inspire you to start thinking in English and improving your fluency. Remember, consistency and small steps are key.
That's right. Practice every day. Stay patient and enjoy the process. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next episode. Keep learning.
Goodbye and happy learning!